with savings up to $200. Now available at select Best Buy and Sam's Club locations and other national retailers.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. Yeah. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
Fox Sports 1290 traffic.
Here's an update on the roadways with a look at your Ashley Home Store traffic. Good morning. Start with a new mattress. Ashley Home Store, that's your mattress destination. Well, southbound on 95, you're seeing some brief slowing out of Wilmington past the riverfront. Then again from 295 towards the Marsh, 141 southbound. It's still jams on a Newport into the 95 interchange, mostly due to the traffic light at Airport Road. Also an accident on 13. It's right across the Newcastle County Airport. Tow trucks are on the scene, though, cleaning that up. 141 northbound over the Tyler McConnell Bridge, looking good so far. In Kent County, 1 and 13, not seeing any serious delays on either road. Same for all your major roadways in Sussex County, 95 and 40 in Cecil County, but northbound 95 in Delaware County. We're going to watch for some volume as you head northbound towards 322. That's a look at your traffic. I'm Betty Pinella.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. Do you live in a historic home? Are you renovating? Your children could be at risk of lead poisoning. It takes just a microscopic amount of lead dust to poison a child. Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
iHeartRadio wants your feedback.
Click thumbs up or down whenever you hear a song.
And your feedback will help enhance your iHeartRadio listening experience.
Fox Sports 1290, Fox Sports 1290 AM on Facebook.
Everybody assumed that Lane Kiffin was in a miserable mood. They assumed that because he took the Florida Atlantic job, that Lane Kiffin was miserable to be at a program like Florida Atlantic. A program who, outside of...
Ronnie, can we go on in about a minute or less whenever you're ready?
I mean, when you think about it...
Thanks. Hear me all right?
Yep. Temple, Florida Atlantic, and Tootsie Rolls. That's it. So Lane Kiffin filmed before National Signing Day in an effort to swing it.
Holy smokes, that's loud.
This is Coach Kiffin. What an exciting time. Next week is National Signing Day, as we signed some of the best players in America.
Ready?
And some of the best fans.
Don't remember Sanford not being in the top 10 in the state of Delaware News Journal rankings, or any rankings for that matter. All right, that's going to do it for our pregame show. We're going to take a timeout for the national anthem and player introductions, and when we return, we'll have your starting lineups and tip-off between William Penn and Mount Pleasant here on Fox Sports 1290 and 302 Sports. Welcome back to William Penn High School, where we are set for tip-off between the Mount Pleasant Green Knights and the William Penn Colonials. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan, Ronnie Vickers back in our studio, Nick Halliday and his crew here for the 302 Sports live stream. William Penn tips off with a 9-6 record, having won 2 of its last 3. Mount Pleasant is 15-3, but the Green Knights have lost 2 of their last 3. A win tonight secures the Flight A title for them. Starters from Mount Pleasant: 5'9" junior Vincent Smith, 6'1" senior Keon Taylor, 6' senior Damir Cole, 6'5" sophomore Kayvon Kramer, who will jump it up, and 6'4" junior Doug Snay. For William Penn, it's Taryn Cochran, Jamal Cramel, Dazir King, Gerard Wall, and Buck Bowling, who will be jumping it up against Kramer. Here we go. Mount Pleasant moving right to left. Kayvon Kramer gets the jump, and it lands in the Hodges, a former William Penn player. Lands in the hands of former William Penn player Niger Hodges. So Mount Pleasant starts moving right to left. They're in their green uniforms. It's kind of a light shade of green with the green numbers, the darker green. William Penn in the all-white with the cherry red, as they call it here. They get the ball to Snay on the foul line. Snay doesn't usually get a start, nor does Vincent Smith. Coach Lisa Sullivan mixing it up a bit here in this what could be the Flight A clinching game for the Green Knights. Keon Taylor has it on the left wing, tries to get in and gets forced back outside, gets it to the top to Smith. Smith gets it over to Niger Hodges. If anybody's familiar with that, a shoot in this gym, it's Niger Hodges, Marty.
That's right.
Kayvon Kramer in the corner. He gets it down to Hodges on the baseline. Quick out to Smith. Smith drives in, dumps it off to Snay on the baseline. Snay drives in the middle, pull-up jumper, rolls around and in.
Doug Snay, great job making a little bit of room for himself in the lane. Up with the easy shot for the quick 2 points for Mount Pleasant.
Full court press by Mount Pleasant. We saw them do this. Hodges picks it off and goes up and scores.
Mount Pleasant does that better than maybe any team in the state. That full court pressure defense really got to William Penn already.
And it got to Hodson last week, almost allowed them to come back and win it at the end. And here it is again, the trapping defense, and they're going to call a 10-second call. So 2 turnovers already against that full court press by Mount Pleasant.
That's right. 2 possessions against that full court trapping press by Mount. 2 turnovers by William Penn. This is exactly the way Coach Sullivan would have drawn it up to start this out at William Penn, a hostile gym.
See them do a lot of full court pressing to start games.
No,
that we watched on film or when we had their game against Hodson. But with a new lineup here, she's looking to see who's ready to play. Hodges almost throws it away. Snay comes out and gets it. William Penn in that man-to-man defense. Keon Taylor gets it. He's being guarded closely by King. Drive along the baseline and out of bounds off of Snay. It's going to be William Penn's ball.
Yeah, so far William Penn having a lot of trouble. Mount Pleasant having some trouble getting the ball inside. William Penn is playing man-to-man, but they're keeping it in almost a 2-3 shape in the middle there. They're not extending. They're not following guys too far around. Make sure they can keep it inside, keep guys out of the lane.
Full court press again. The trap there. Cramel's got it. He gets it up to Cochran, who quickly gets it ahead to King up on the right wing, and he gives it back to Cramel. Had somebody walk right in front of us there. Cramel's got it there in between the circles. He gets it over to Cochran, and then back over on the left side to Walls. They're going to work it around the perimeter. We saw them do this earlier in the season. They get it over on the right to Wall in the corner. He gets it back out front to King. Mount Pleasant in a 2-3 zone. Wall's got it. Jumper from the right wing from 3. No good. Follow-up by King is good.
Wow, that's a job right there. Kayvon Kramer's got to do a better job coming off the weak side and following that up. An easy 2 points you just can't give up if you're Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant with the ball and a 4-2 lead. 5:35 to play here in the first quarter from William Penn High School. Keon Taylor has it. Famir Ali, usually the point guard, didn't get the start tonight. He is here. I'm sure we will see him. Taylor turns it over. Wall has it and then loses it back to Hodges. Hodges now driving in with the left hand, puts it up, he's fouled, and it's good.
Hodges, a fantastic job with the left hand there. I don't know if he's naturally left-handed, but he sure could be, because he did a great job. Drove the length of the court after stealing it back, coming down, laying it up softly off the glass with the left hand and drawing the N1.
Hodges probably out to prove something here to this William Penn crowd. He transferred to Mount Pleasant. After playing for William Penn the last couple years. Foul shot is up and no good, so it is going to stay 6-2 Mount Pleasant over William Penn as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. King's got it on the right wing. He gets it back out to Cramel, being guarded closely by Hodges. Cramel gets it over to Wall in the left corner. Underneath there to Bowling. Jump shot from 3 for Cochran. No good. Up with a rebound, and they're going to say no good. It was Cramel that went up. And they're going to call a foul. We'll see who they call the foul on. Looks like the foul was going to be on King, so that'll be his first.
I'll tell you what, every bit of that looked clean to me. The play was not on the score. The score was by Carmel, which was waved off by the foul on King, but of course they have a better vantage point.
Mount Pleasant's ball with a 6-2 lead, 4:55 to play in the first quarter. Smith with the alley-oop, one-handed slam by Kramer.
That's when you know Mount Pleasant is playing their game. We haven't seen him do that in a few games. A fantastic alley-oop. Kramer with the one-handed grab and slam with the full extension of the left arm. Folks, you have to see these slams to believe this kid's only a sophomore.
Yeah, these are slams that you often don't see at the college level, the way he goes up and grabs them with that one hand to give Mount Pleasant an 8-2 lead and a 30-second timeout taken by William Penn. Want to thank Rufo Associates for sponsoring tonight's game, one of several sponsors we'll mention throughout the broadcast. Visit rufolaw.com. That's RUFO law.com. And Fuddruckers, home of the world's greatest hamburgers, is located right off of Churchman's Road on Jeffrey Drive in Newark. The former Chi-Chi's, the former Hamburger in Paradise. What's that called? Cheeseburger in Paradise. Visit Fuddruckers.com. 8-2 William Penn's ball. Mount Pleasant is still applying the full court press. Carmel has it, being guarded by Hodges, and Smith gets it over to Bowling. Bowling tries to come across the foul line, the half-court line, gets double-teamed, and manages to get it over before the 10-second call into the hands of the point guard, senior Jamal Kramer.
Bowling very lucky there. The big man, you don't want him putting the ball on the floor, picking up his dribble mid-court against the press.
This is not a good three-point shooting William Penn team, and of course they announce the drink in reverse as Dazier King nails a three to make it an 8-5 game Mount Pleasant lead, but they don't take many three-pointers, which is probably why Mount Pleasant is playing that zone. Drive inside, dish off to Snee, goes up, no good, but he's going to be fouled, and that foul is going to be on Buck Bowling. It will be his first, the team's third.
I'll tell you what, Vincent Smith is showing something early on. I mean, that was a Famir Ali type pass inside to Snee. Snee, of course, is filling in. We talked about Backus is no longer with the Mount Pleasant team. Snee is filling in. He's a big man, 6'4". He's only a junior, hits his first free throw.
62% from the free throw line, has 3 points, only averaging 5.5 coming in, so Lisa Sullivan's getting her time's worth out of him already. 9-5, Mount Pleasant with the lead. Snee tried to extend it back to 5. Shot is up, off the front of the rim, the back of the rim, and good. So 10-5, Mount Pleasant leads here. Snee picks up his 4th point, full court press. Not quite the pressure now. They're dropping back just a little bit to half court, and then Kramer was going to come up and try to pick that pass off. Bowling has it. He crosses half court, and it looks like an offensive foul there, and that's a good call.
You know what? Absolutely. Bowling was throwing the elbows all over the place there. You got to call that before someone gets hurt, because a lot of those are being thrown at head level of the Mount Pleasant trap. So a great call by the officials.
Jordan Hardy's going to check in for Bowling, who just picked up his 2nd foul, a frustration foul, but not only was he throwing his elbows, he was moving his body at the same time. Usually you can only get away with one of the other if you're going to get away with anything. So Bowling will have a seat with the 2 fouls, 4 fouls already on William Penn, 3:50 to play, and the Colonials trail Mount Pleasant 10-5. Jump shot, he looked a dish off. It was a nice thought by Vincent Smith, but Kayvon Kramer was not looking. Turnover, Mount Pleasant.
You know, great example of Smith is not usually the starting point guard. He was trying to direct Kramer that whole time. Kramer didn't get it. Not sure who was at fault there, but that's just a lack of playing together.
Kramer just pointed to the sky at looking at Smith, kind of saying, usually I jump high to get balls. They are thrown at my chest. We'll see if they fix that. 3:33 to play. Mount Pleasant with a 10-5 lead. William Penn's got the ball. Jamal Carmel's got it. He gets it over to the wing to Dazier King. Back out front to Harding, who just checked in. They're working the ball around the outside. King, who just nailed one from 3, decides to give that shot up and instead gets it down into the corner to Kramer. Back to King, back to Kramer. Kramer's going to bring it up front. 3 to play. Mount Pleasant with a 10-5 lead over the host Colonials. They get it on the other side. That's Wall, who brings it back out front. So a nice pressure job here by this Mount Pleasant defense. William Penn works it around. They can't seem to get that shot they want. Pump fake by Harding in the left wing. No good on the shot. Snee goes up and grabs it. I thought it went off Snee. Referee disagrees with me. It's going to be Mount Pleasant ball.
Yeah, John, this is the Mount Pleasant team we saw on tape that built up that 14-1 record with the only loss being to an out-of-state team. They've just got William Penn totally confused offensively. That 2-3 zone, they do use it to extend now that William Penn's hit a three-pointer, but this is exactly the way that Mount Pleasant likes to play.
Damir Cole checks in for Keon Taylor for Mount Pleasant. Brahim Riley checks in for William Penn. It's going to be Mount Pleasant's ball. They're going to take it out under their own basket, and it will be Vincent Smith bringing the ball up. 2:50 to play. Mount Pleasant with a 10-5 lead. Driving in is Smith, and he goes to put it up, and it gets swatted away by Jordan Harding.
That's one of those tough shots inside. Jordan Harding did a really nice job. Smith tried to go up and under instead of just straight up with his left hand, and Harding was able to slap that away.
For Penn, Raheem Riley had checked in for Taryn Cochran, who will take a seat for the first time tonight. Famir Ali is in for Mount Pleasant, the normal starting point guard, averages 4.2 assists and 11.9 points per game. Ali drives in, gets cut off, a no-look pass underneath, and it gets picked off by Harding. He gets it quickly ahead to King. Turnover as Smith picks it back up across the timeline. Smith driving in, gives it to Ali in the left corner. Jump shot no good from three. Going up for the rebound is number 10, Gerard Wall. Came down in the hands of King, and quickly on the other side, a floater by Crummell, no good. Going up strong with it is Riley on the rebound. Nice job by the big man. Puts it up, no good, but is fouled.
Yeah, Brahim Riley, a great job. 6'8", only a junior, rail thin. He's going to have to put on a little bit of weight before next season if he's going to bang around with some of the big guys down there. But a great hustle play there to get to the free throw line.
So with his team trailing 10-5, he's going to go to the foul line and shoot two. The first one is up and no good. He is a 63% foul shooter, but in his defense has not taken a lot of foul shots. Vincent Smith's going to have a seat. Checking back in is Niger Hodges, who, if you're just tuning in, played here at William Penn up until last season. Brahim Riley getting ready to take his second foul shot. The lefty is up and good. So 10-6. Mount Pleasant leads, 2:08 to play. Mount Pleasant on the other side quickly. They get it to Hodges in the left corner. He pulls it back out, brings a defender with him, and then is going to throw it away. No, a nice hustle play there for Mount Pleasant by Cole, who gets it to Ali before the backcourt violation would have occurred. And Mount Pleasant pulls it out, 1:51 to play with a 10-6 lead.
That was tremendous hustle to save the backcourt there for Mount Pleasant.
I didn't think he was going to make it. That's why he was calling the backcourt. Ali comes in, he kicks it back out to Hodges. Hodges goes into the corner again, almost a turnover. Ali had the 10-footer, instead spins around, puts it underneath there to Snee. Snee puts it up, can't make the layup. King comes down with it. King on the other end, a little dipsy-do, no good on the layup, but there's Riley again with the rebound and the putback. They're going to say it was on the floor, so we'll be underneath. But again, nice hustle there by the 6'8 junior, Brahim Riley.
Great hustle by Riley there, and yeah, he probably shouldn't have needed to, as you mentioned, King with the little dipsy-do there. He looked like he made that a little more difficult, trying to show off a bit rather than making sure he got the 2 points, but a great hustle play by Riley again. And on the other end, of course, I couldn't get a word in edgewise. The action's so fast here, but Famir Ali looks really good with his passing tonight, something we haven't seen for the last few games.
Keenan Fetlow checks in for Mount Pleasant. He'll take the place of Snee, who has a seat. William Penn ball as they work it around the outside as they have all night. Harding's got it. He tries to get it into Riley. Riley loses control, and coming away with it is Hodges. A nice defensive play there by Damir Cole to knock it away. On the other end, a quick layup attempt and swatted away, and then Famir Ali, who made the layup attempt, steps out of bounds.
Actually got swatted away right back into Famir Ali's hands, who did not expect to get the ball back again so quickly and kind of got caught in mid-step there. Nice job by William Penn.
Full court press again now, and it's quickly tipped away. Kayvon Craner goes up for what would have been a dunk, but Jamal Crummell goes up and meets him, knocks it out of bounds, but the foul is going to be against Crummell, and it will send Kayvon Kramer to the line.
You know, as an old school guy, I always loved that kind of play. Kayvon Kramer was going to throw that down. It was going to get the Mount Pleasant crowd going again. When you're on the road, it's a big deal. That was a nice job to give the foul there and put Kramer at the foul line.
With a 10-6 lead, the 62% free throw shooter, a lefty getting ready to put up his first. and it is good for his third point of the night. Checking in for William Penn is Tim Bateman, 5'7" senior, and he's going to give Jamal Kermel a rest. Mount Pleasant is also going to sub. Coming in will be Tyreek Johnson. He'll be in for Kayvon Kramer.
You know, it's amazing, again, as a sophomore, Kayvon Kramer, everything about his game is so smooth. He's got a really nice stroke at the free throw line. He moves well. He does a really nice job. If he balks up, he's going to be a big problem.
Second shot off the back of the rim, no good. Riley has the rebound tipped out of his hand, but coming down with it is Hardy. So it is 11-6. Mount Pleasant with a 5-point lead, led by as many as 6 on that terrific Kayvon Kramer slam. But William Penn has kept it close since then. Bateman drives in, he gets it over to Riley. It's a three-pointer by Hardy, and it is good.
That was a great job of ball movement by William Penn. That's what you have to do against the 2-3 zone defense. They got Harding alone on the weak side for the three-pointer, nails it down. All of a sudden, we're a 2-point game.
30 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Amir Ali has the ball. Coach Sullivan, I'm sure, has told him it better be a good shot or time better be running out. They get it over into the corner, and it is whipped underneath to Kayvon Kramer, who goes up for the layup and is good.
Great job by Kayvon Kramer that time, maintaining his vertical base. Ibrahim Riley went up for the block.
Mount Pleasant pressing, 9 seconds to play. William Penn trying to get it across the timeline. It's stripped away by Kramer, and then I heard a whistle. I thought it did, and they're going to call traveling. I think that was on Hodges.
Yeah, it was on Hodges. He was looking for Demir Cole down low. Cole didn't have his face turned, so instead he kind of got caught in mid-step there, called for the travel.
Tyreek Johnson finally gets to check in for Kayvon Kramer. He was set to check in if Kramer had made that second free throw, but he did not, and so he's now just checking in. 2 seconds left to play. They get it up, almost picked off, and it is picked off by Mount Pleasant, and that is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. With your score, Mount Pleasant 13, William Penn 9. You're listening to the Fox Sports 1290 Game of the Week and watching it live on 302 Sports.
Hi, I'm Shannon Colburn, General Manager of Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Bethany Beach.
And I'm Douglas Ruley, Vice President and Chef of Soto Concepts.
Located on Coastal Highway just north of downtown Bethany Beach, Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar is a landmark restaurant overlooking the beautiful salt pond. Some house specialties include fried baby lobster tails, baked oysters, seafood stew, lobster cavatappi, and of course, daily selections of fresh fish and raw oysters.
That's Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Bethany Beach.
Come check us out. Hi, I'm Shannon Colburn, General Manager of Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Bethany Beach.
And I'm Douglas Ruley, Vice President and Chef of Soto Concepts.
Located on Coastal Highway just north of downtown Bethany Beach, Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar is a landmark restaurant overlooking the beautiful salt pond. Some house specialties include fried baby lobster tails, baked oysters, seafood stew, lobster cavatappi, and of course, daily selections of fresh fish and raw oysters.
That's Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Bethany Beach.
John Busby along with Marty Sheehan from William Penn High School. Mount Pleasant has a 13-9 lead over the Colonials. Mount Pleasant will wrap up the Flight A title with a win here today. William Penn is making a push for a postseason tournament. They've got the ball moving left to right as we see it with their all-white uniforms with the cherry red trim. Mount Pleasant in the light green uniforms with the darker green trim. A couple of the Mount Pleasant players in those pink shoes, most notably Amir Ali and Kayvon Kramer. For William Penn, Gerard Wall is in the game along with King and Riley and Harding and Tim Bateman. They work it around. They whip it underneath the King. Reverse layup is good. What a pass from Jordan Harding to King.
A great look from Harding out beyond the three-point circle to King.
And on the other side, Amir Ali, a quick launch from three on the right wing. No good, but tipped out of bounds by William Penn. Is going to stay Mount Pleasant ball.
And as we mentioned, Mount Pleasant is shooting only 24% from three-point land this season, so they would love to be able to work the ball inside, do a little bit better job of getting closer range shots.
13-11, Mount Pleasant has led this entire game from start to finish, led by as many as 6. Going to call a foul underneath, and that foul is going to come against... we can't see the refs, and they're not putting it up on the thing. I thought they were going to call it against Mount Pleasant because I thought I saw a 2 and a 0. That would be Tyreek Johnson. And actually it is. They are going to call the foul on Tyreek Johnson, and so it is going to be William Penn ball.
Yeah, something not sure what happened underneath there. hard to get. Nice steal.
And another turnover on the press, and Famir Ali grabs the ball and lays it in for Mount Pleasant. So this press giving William Penn all kinds of trouble as Mount Pleasant now leads 15-11. They get it across the timeline to Bateman. Bateman then turns it over, trying to get it underneath the King. Mount Pleasant ahead quick, and there it is to Ali. The left side layup with the right hand is good.
John, it seems like every time they've run this trapping press, not just for token purposes, they forced a turnover. Looks like they're going to go with it for a while now.
And almost another turnover, ball heading our way.
In fact, it is another turnover.
It is another turnover, 3 in a row, and Steve Christensen not calling a timeout yet, not waiting for immediate timeout. No such thing, but he has made a substitution. And it looks like Cromell is back in the game along with Cochran. 17-11, Mount Pleasant with a 6-point lead. They've led by 6 back midway through the first quarter on that one-handed dunk by Kramer. But William Penn has kept it close since then and gets a break here as it is a traveling call against Keon Taylor, going to turn it back over to the Colonials.
Yeah, if you're the Colonials, I think you got to feel fortunate that you're within 6 points right now. This game feels like it's been completely dominated by William Penn everywhere but on the scoreboard where it's only a 6-point lead.
Once again, the full court press, and William Penn almost throws it away. Hardy manages to run it down, drives in, lays it up and good. So freakish there, but it worked.
It worked. Hardy, a great job keeping his balance, sort of tight roping the sideline, the Mount Pleasant sideline there before walking along the baseline and putting it in for the 2 points, laying it up.
5 points for Hardy. On the baseline, Ali, a spin move, knocks it out to Keon Taylor on the left wing. He tries to drive in. King cuts him off. They're trying to get it in underneath. They do to Keaton Felto. He turns around, little jumper. It's good.
Wow, great job by Fetlow. He really established his position on the low block there, using his lower body to back the defender back. So nice job by Fetlow.
2 points for Fetlow, already more than his season average. And was that another turnover against William Penn?
I believe it is. It looks like they're calling the foul on number 10. That would be Gerard Wall.
So Wall picks up a foul. That's the 6th foul in the Colonials, so Mount Pleasant will be in the one-on-one the rest of the way.
Yeah, William Penn has really seemed just out of sync tonight. Now, a lot of that is due to Mount Pleasant. They seem to have sort of refound the energy they lost over the last 2 of 3 games, but tonight they've been all over the place defensively, offensively. They're moving the ball around really well. A lot of energy.
Sometimes you switch up your starting lineup and you automatically get that energy not only from the guys who don't normally start, but the guys that normally do when they get in the game. And it seems to have worked. A jumper there on the baseline, in and out by Keenan. Penn comes down with it. They trail 19-13. Dazier King pump fake on the inside. They get it inside to Cochran. Back out to Hardy at the top of the key. Pump fake the 3 and decides to give it off to Cromell on the right wing. He's being guarded by Keon Taylor of Mount Pleasant. Dazier King draws Kayvon Kramer out. Mount Pleasant playing this very effective 2-3 zone. Harding's got it on the right wing. Kramer out covering him by the ref from our vantage point. No argument from Mount Pleasant either. William Penn has it. Harding launches from 3 again off the far side of the rim. No good. Kayvon Kramer goes above the rim, but when he brings it down, Rinkowski strips it away. Kayvon Kramer comes out and commits the foul on the reach in beyond the arc. Lisa Sullivan's not going to be happy that Kramer wasted one of his fouls reaching into somebody who wasn't going to launch a 3 anyway.
No, it looked like it was just a frustration foul for Kayvon Kramer. Wasn't able to grab the ball earlier. Mount Pleasant still doing a fantastic job. This 2-3 defense is so unique because they are so quick. There really ends up being no weak side. No matter how quickly you whip the ball around, Mount Pleasant's able to recover, and they've really done a nice job. But again, William Penn keeping this within 6.
Gerard Wall checked in for Rinkowski, and then Rinkowski checked back in for Wall, and now Wall is checking back in for Rinkowski.
Because no time came off the clock.
And I think what it is Rinkowski was not supposed to come in for Wall, and once you checked in and check out, I guess I know you have to wait for the next dead ball. So 22-16, Mount Pleasant with the lead, 2:30 to play. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan here on Fox Sports 1290 and 302 Sports live stream. They get it underneath to Harding. Harding goes up, but he's stripped from behind by Famir Ali. Smith gets it back to Ali on the breakaway. Left-handed layup is up and no good. Gets batted around in Ali's hands. He goes up and he's fouled, so he'll head to the line and shoot 2.
Famir Ali, it's hard to remember sometimes when you watch him play. He's a sophomore. He's only 5'11". He's a kind of a bigger bodied guard, but he can really do a nice job. He gets down low. He's able to bang around with some of the bigger guys inside, and he actually does a nice job of pulling down some key rebounds for this team.
So Famir Ali, who has 4 points, all coming here in the fourth quarter, didn't get the start tonight, makes the first of two, a 66% free throw shooter. And Rinkowski now finally does check in for, lo and behold, Gerard Wall.
There you go.
I'm not sure. Maybe Coach Christensen didn't want Rinkowski in until they were going to get the ball back on offense. Who knows the reasoning. But anyway, he's in, and it's a 23-16 lead right now. That is the most that Mount Pleasant has led by 7. The second shot goes up, no good. Smallest guy on the court, 5'7" senior Tim Bateman comes down with it. So 23-16, a 7-point lead for Mount Pleasant. Bateman gets it across half court, and he gives it off to Cochran of Mount Pleasant. Cochran is of William Penn, and a ball almost thrown away. Nice job by Cromell there to get it before it landed in the stand. Bateman from the right corner, three-pointer off the far side, no good. Rebound by Harding, up off the glass, no good. Tipped around by Rinkowski. Harding's got it back in his hand, lays it up, no good. Kramer comes down with it, and he's going to be fouled, and Kramer will be shooting the 1-and-1. I believe the foul is going to be called against Rinkowski. It is his first.
Yeah, it is, and they're lucky that wasn't called on Jordan Harding, who's really having a monster game, really keeping William Penn in this game because they have not played well as a team. But Jordan Harding single-handedly, both on the offensive and defensive ends, has just done a fantastic job of keeping them within striking distance.
Kayvon Kramer, a 62% free throw shooter, is 1 of 2 so far tonight in the first quarter. He's got 5 points all in the first quarter, so looking to get his first points of the second quarter. First shot is up off the back of the rim, no good. So Mount Pleasant not shooting particularly well from the free throw line. They're making about 50% of their shots, which on the season they're 59%. So that's about right as Hodges checks in for Mount Pleasant. He's going to come in for Tyreek Johnson. 1:37 to play. Mount Pleasant with their biggest lead of the night, 23-16.
And again, the full court pressure from Mount Pleasant causing all kinds of problems.
They get it back to Bateman, getting close to the 10 count. A bounce pass over to Harding. Harding drives in and lays it up. Another missed layup by Harding. Kramer goes over his back cleanly, though, to come away with the ball. 1:19 to play. Mount Pleasant's got it. Vincent Smith, who got the start tonight. Welcome back to William Penn High School. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Thanks to Ronnie Vickers for that halftime report. He's producing for us back in the Wilmington studio. Nick Halliday and his crew on site here for 302 Sports. Mount Pleasant jumped out to a 4-0 lead. They led by as many as 6 in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, it was 13-9. Mount Pleasant stayed, William Penn stayed within about 5 for most of the second quarter, and then the full court pressing trap really bothered William Penn, and Mount Pleasant jumped out to a 25-16 lead at one point, a 9-point advantage, and then it ended up 27-18, a 9-point advantage at the half. Your leading scorers for Mount Pleasant, Famir Ali, the sophomore guard who didn't get the start, but came off the bench and scored 7 second quarter points. Kayvon Kramer had all 5 of his points in the first quarter. Niger Hodges, the former William Penn player here, came away with 4 points, as did Doug Snay, who also got a rare start. 2 points for Vincent Smith and Keenan Fetlow off the bench, and a point for Keon Taylor. For William Penn, Dazir King had 7, Jordan Harding had 8, Robert Rinkowski 2, and Brahim Riley 1. Mount Pleasant trying to secure a third consecutive Flight A basketball championship with a win here tonight. William Penn at 9-6 knows every win counts to try to help them get back into the state tournament. Marty, your thoughts on the first half?
We know coming into this game, Mount Pleasant was having all kinds of struggles offensively, and it looks like what they decided is that we just won't score offensively, we'll score. Basically, in football terms, they're scoring on pick sixes.
Right.
They're using that pressure defense to force an unbelievable. We got to be up in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 turnovers for William Penn in this game. Mount Pleasant has been able to take advantage of a number of them, but they haven't been able to do a lot from their regular offensive sets, but they haven't needed to because they forced so many turnovers and then points in transition. If you're William Penn, up until the very last maybe 60 seconds of the half, they were still very much in this game. Now, it's still only a 9-point deficit, but it feels like it should be a lot bigger. Mount Pleasant really dominated the style and the flow of play in that first half.
It's going to be Mount Pleasant's ball. They had the same starters that started the game: Vincent Smith, Keon Taylor, Damir Cole, Kayvon Kramer, and Doug Snee. William Penn mixing it up a little bit. Taryn Cochran, Jamal Cramel getting in there. Tim Bateman is in, Dazir King is in, and Harding is in starting for the Colonials. So Harding did not start the game, nor did Bateman. So a little switch up there by Steve Christensen at the half.
And William Penn moving to a man-to-man defense to start this half, getting it out of that 2-3 zone.
Doug Snee drives in, puts it up off the glass, and it's good.
Really strong drive by Doug Snee. That's something they're going to need him to do to take the heat off of Kayvon Kramer inside. Nice job by Snee, the 6'5 sophomore.
Only foul trouble for either team. Gerard Wall has 3 for William Penn. William Penn moving right to left as we see it. Harding gets it underneath into the low block, and Bowling works his way in, and they're going to call a foul on Keon Taylor. So a little height difference there, and Keon Taylor had no choice but the foul. He's at 6'1", and Bowling at 6'4", but it was on the ground. The referee's doing a nice job holding up play while the fans get to their seat.
Yes, they are. Yeah, this has been a bugaboo for us for a while now, both at the end of games and during games, letting fans in.
And it happens in every gym we're
yes,
at.
It does.
It's not nothing that William Penn happens here exclusively by any stretch of the imagination, but I have yet to hear an explanation of why they can't put 4 people, 1 in each corner, and just not let anybody move until there's a break in the action. But
I agree with you.
Maybe someday I'll go ask my opinion. But until that time, 7:10 to play. Mount Pleasant with a 29-18 lead here in this Flight A conference game. William Penn with the ball. Bateman's got it. He came off the bench and did a nice job on both ends of the floor for Steve Christensen. He's got it back in his hand. He pump fakes, drives in, works it underneath, gets swatted away by Hodges, but it's going to stay William Penn ball.
You know, Tim Bateman's known for his defensive skills, but he's really done a nice job handling the ball out front. That was a terrific drive against that Mount defense.
Bateman looking to get it in under his own basket. He whips it across court to Dazir King. The lefty three-pointer. They're going to say it's a 2, but it's good nonetheless. 2 points for Dazir King.
Dazir King had enough time there to take a look and check where his feet were, but he would have been caught with a walk had he tried to take that half step back, but a nice 2 for him.
Smith gets it to Hodges over on the left wing, back up to Snee at the top of the key. Keon Taylor on the right wing. He launches an NBA range 3, no good, and Snee skies for the rebound, gets it, puts it up, no good, but is fouled, and I think that is going to be called against Harding. If it is, that is his first foul.
Doug Snee coming out of the locker room showing some real energy. He had the nice drive in the lay-in earlier, forced his way inside down on the low block there, picked up the foul. He's going to get 2 shots.
Has 6 points on the night, comes in averaging just 5.5. First foul shot is up and good, so he is 3 for 3 from the charity stripe as Taryn Cochran checks in for Jordan Harding.
As we mentioned, now it's mostly going to be him paired down low with Kayvon Kramer, Doug Snee, the 6'4 junior. I think I misidentified him a little earlier, but you put that combination together, if he's able to develop his offensive skills, they've got a big weapon down there.
So it is 31-20, 11-point lead, the biggest of the night for Mount Pleasant, as Snee is now 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 8 points on the night. Press bothers William Penn a little bit, but they get it over half court. Bateman's in. He gets it over to King. King, a little 10-foot jumper from the baseline. Thought he was fouled. Snee skies for the rebound and comes down with it. Keon Taylor quickly on the other end across half court. Fakes like he's going to head in. Instead pulls it back out.
Yeah, Snee's really making his presence known in this second half on both ends of the ball, and that was the first time we really saw William Penn comfortable against that press.
Smith gets it over to Keon Taylor on the right wing. Taylor erupted for 24 points the other night in that big win against Newark. Snee drives in, and I think they're going to call him for the offensive foul in the lane. Turnover to William Penn.
Yeah, unfortunately, he kind of lowered his head and shoulder, got a little bit ahead of his skis on that one, bowled over 2 defenders. Good call by the referee.
Full court press again for Mount Pleasant, and Bateman tries to bounce pass it in, and Kayvon Kramer gets his big mitts on it and knocks it out of bounds. Going to stay William Penn ball.
You know, Kayvon Kramer's so quick, too. They put him on the ball with his length, and he's still able to get back defensively.
Quickly they get it up. Dazir King breaks the press. He gets it over to Bowling. 15-foot jumper from the left side is good.
Great job by Buck Bowling. He was right on time there. That's right about it. His range. He's not going to go too much further than that. I did mention he's 3 of 4 on three-pointers, but that will not shoot a lot from the outside. But that was right on time for them, bringing that back to a 9-point game.
Mount Pleasant's got it, moving left to right as we see it, working around on the outside. I'm sure one of the things Lisa Sullivan talked about was no need to rush at this point. Smith gets it to the left elbow, decides instead of taking a jumper to kick it back out to Keon Taylor, who's being guarded by Cromell. Keon Taylor looks like he's trying to get a pick from Snay. He drives in, lays it up off the grass, no good, and coming down with it is Taryn Cochran.
Keon Taylor, great drive there, but Taryn Cochran, a really nice job of holding his ground, forcing the off-balance shot.
Cromell has the ball working around the outside, trying to get a pick from Cochran. Cochran then peels off it on the pick and roll, but ends up out on the right wing. He gets it back to Bowling, over to King, into the left corner to Bateman. Bateman turns it over, trying to get across the baseline there. Taylor comes away with it, gets it over to Hodges on the right wing. Hodges drives in, left-handed, gets it back to Keon Taylor on the dribble handoff. Taylor drives in, kicks it back out to Smith, who drives back in, kicks it back underneath. It's blocked away. Taylor went up and looked like it was blocked away by Cochran there. Cromell quickly on the other end gets it to Cochran. He dishes it out to King for another three-pointer from the right side. No good. Skying for the rebound is Cromell. He comes down with it. Kramer puts it right back in his face. And another shot by King. I'm not sure how he got that up and in, but he did. 11 points for King. And Coach Lisa Sullivan is going to call a timeout. She's going to take a 30-second timeout. It's 31-24, and she didn't like something that she saw.
No, she didn't. And Coach Christensen didn't like the fact that didn't end up being an and-one situation. Kayvon Kramer, there was all kinds of contact down there. You know, one of the things, Kayvon is still a sophomore, but one of the things I remember growing up, coaches always telling me, when you block the shots, and you and I think talked about this before, don't swat it away.
Right.
Have a goal in mind. Get it to defender. That time, twice we saw Kayvon Kramer swat the ball right into the hands of a William Penn offensive player. So that's something he's going to have to develop over some time.
And one time he swatted it so hard I thought it was going to take paint off the inside of the lane there. Concord Pet Food and Supplies, for everything your pet needs. Visit ConcordPetFoods.com or any of their 29 locations in the area. Make sure to look for me. I'm in that store all the time with our 4-year-old yellow lab. They do a great job with customer service. Somebody in there always has an answer that I'm looking for. 4:12 to play. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Mount Pleasant with the ball coming out of the timeout, and a 31-24 lead. Famir Ali, who usually gets a start, did not tonight, but came out and scored 7 second quarter points. He's got the ball on the right side. Baseline goes behind his back, skips back, gets caught underneath, gets it inside to Kramer. Kramer goes up for the dunk. Cochran swats it away to himself and leads the one-on-one break, goes up and is fouled.
A great job by Taryn Cochran on the defensive end. You rarely ever see Kayvon Kramer go for the dunk and be denied. Cochran got nothing with ball and then recovered the ball himself, went coast to coast, drew the foul here for 2 shots.
Cochran held scoreless in the first half, is going to go and try to pull his team closer. They trail 31-24. First foul shot is up and no good. Cochran, a 60% free throw shooter. Damir Cole is going to check in for Keon Taylor, who by my book has 3 fouls.
And if memory serves, Taryn Cochran was our player of the game when William Penn defeated St. George's a few weeks ago. Did a really nice job, scored about 10 points, did a really nice job on the defensive end.
Second shot is up and no good. Kayvon Kramer skies for the rebound. He gets it quickly to Damir Cole, who got the start, didn't start the second half. Cole goes coast to coast and scores.
Damir Cole, I think William Penn was as surprised as anybody that Cole didn't get rid of that at some point. The lane kind of opened up for him there. Great job laying that up and in. 9-point
lead for Mount Pleasant. They've led by as many as 11 here in the second half. 33-24, 3:28 to play here in the third quarter. A win by Mount Pleasant notches the Flight A championship for the 3rd year in a row for the Green Knights. Cochran has it. He drives in the middle, dishes it off to Dazir King, who puts it up on the layup. No good. And coming down with the rebound is Damir Cole. He gets it ahead to Hodges, who drives down the lane. Fans calling for a walk. They're going to call a foul on the ground. We'll see if we can see who that is against. That is going to be against Cromell. That will be his second. Checking in for William Penn is Gerard Wall. we'll see who he checks in for. He's going to come in for Tim Bateman.
Yeah, Jamal Cramell with the little slap there, trying to stop that drive to the basket. He did stop the drive to the basket, unfortunately picked up the foul in the process.
Tyreek Johnson, a 6'3 senior, comes in for Kayvon Kramer. Famir Ali launches for three from the right corner, no good, and skying for the rebound is Gerard Wall. William Penn, he's going to bring it right up the middle, see if he can make something happen. He goes between the legs, dishes it back off on the dribble handoff to Cramell at the top of the key. Mount Pleasant looks like they're playing in a matchup zone out front, maybe even a 3-2 zone. Now they're back into a man-to-man. And William Penn struggling to get it. Cramell gets it. He gives it back to Bowling. Bowling dishes it to Dazir King, who drives in, gets cut off nicely on the baseline by the Mount Pleasant defense. King has it again and works it outside, almost back to the half-court line. He's between the circles on the right wing. Cramell has it on the right wing, being guarded by Tyreek Johnson. He gets it over to Bowling at the top of the key. Bowling, the sophomore, and Wall gets it, almost falls down with it, then throws it away, and on the other end, it's a layup, no good by Cole. Follow-up is good by Doug Snee. Never give up on the play.
No, another great job by Doug Snee. Everybody thought that layup was going to be good. Everyone gave up on it. William Penn defense did a great job getting back. Unfortunately, the two guys who got back were the only two guys who got back besides Snee, who followed up for the easy two.
William Penn's going to take a full timeout as Mount Pleasant has pulled away for an 11-point lead, 35-24, 2:13 to play. It's the second time Mount Pleasant has led by 11 here in the second quarter. Our special edition 10th anniversary Fox Sports 1290 posters were designed and created by Incognito. Incognito Productions is the premier sports filming company in Delaware, shooting, editing, and creating sports films for teams and individuals. See for yourself the top quality of Incognito Productions by heading to nkfilms.com today. The 10th anniversary posters, can be found at each Fox Sports 1290 broadcast this season and are sponsored and printed by Royal Pest, planet-friendly solutions to your pest problems, royalpest.com. It's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show when we'll recap the game and announce our Crown Trophy player of the game. 35-24, Mount Pleasant with an 11-point lead, 2:13 to play here in the third quarter. I believe I said it's the second 11-point lead they've had in the second quarter. It's the second half that they've had those two 11-point leads. Mount Pleasant comes out of the William Penn timeout in the full court press. They whip it across, William Penn does, to Buck Bowling, who gets it across the timeline and then gives it back out to Gerard Wall. Famir Ali is trying to keep Cramell from getting the ball. He does so successfully. They have to lob it over to King, who's being guarded by Hodges. King goes right by him, gives it off to Cochran. A little jump shot right at the inside the foul line is good.
King, a great job finding Cochran, who found a weak spot in that man-to-man defense right about the foul line. Knocks down the easy two for William Penn. William Penn, again, just not able to establish any kind of momentum offensively.
Cochran with the first 2 points of the game for the 6'3 junior. Pulls William Penn back within single digits, 35-26. Snee almost with a turnover at the foul line, manages to regroup and gets the ball back out to Demir Cole. He gets it over to Tyreek Johnson, who tries to drive. Nice defensive effort there by Bowling. Gets it out to Famir Ali, who says, let's slow things down here. Snee comes out to set a pick. Famir Ali decides to drop back beyond the three-point line on the arch. Being covered nicely by Cramell there. He pulls it out. Coach Lisa Sullivan's telling him to run the play, work it around. They do. They get it over on the baseline, and a nice drive inside by Mount Pleasant. No good. That was Hodges, knocked out of bounds. Going to be, whose ball did they call? William Penn ball.
Yeah, everything about that drive by Hodges was great, except to the very end where he missed the layup. You got a nice job there. Coach Sullivan called for a reset of the offense. They found Hodges down low. He just wasn't able to hit that layup.
Raheem Riley, the 6'8 junior, checks in for Cochran. Riley had several rebounds in before. He's also able to help out on this full court press. They can get it to as they do. Just as I say, they lobbed in, but he steps over and traveled right in front of us. That's the inexperience you get when you bring in the 6'8 kid.
Exactly. Riley got caught with one foot on the one side and 1 foot on the other. Just kind of caught in no man's land there. But again, this Mount Pleasant press has just wreaked havoc on William Penn all night offensively.
46.8 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Mount Pleasant with a 35-26 lead. They led by 9 at the half, and they've kept it that distance here in the third quarter. Ali drives in, swatted away by Riley, who then whips it ahead, almost a turnover, and then it is turned over. It falls into the hands of Tyreek Johnson, who pulls up for a left-handed jumper on the foul line. No good. Knocked around. Johnson gets his own rebound, spins inside, and scores.
Johnson, a great job there, and I'm actually thinking Lisa Sullivan, he kind of redeemed himself because I don't think she loved that first shot.
No, not at all with time running out. 14 seconds to play. William Penn trying to get it across court. They get it all the way over here to the other side to Wall, and Wall gets it, tips away. Ali comes down with it, driving down the middle, and scoops it up. No good. He never got the shot out of his hand, actually, and instead was fouled. We'll see whether they're going to call it a shooting foul or not. The foul is going to be on Brahim Riley. That is his first, the team's third. So it's not a one-on-one, but they're going to say that he was shooting.
Yeah, they're going to say, I was kind of debating whether or not he was going to try to throw that up for an alley-oop to Kramer.
Yeah.
He did decide to go for the layup, but the ref's discretion was that he was going for the layup anyway. But again, the William Penn defense just causing all sorts of problems for William Penn offensively. Just William Penn not able to get anything going. But when you think about it, I mean, they're only down by 11 points. William Penn has completely dominated this game from start to finish. The only thing they're not doing is scoring a lot of points, which is not something that they have a good offense. They're just not able to get anything going tonight, and it's a lot of it's been a case of missed layups.
Ali misses the first. Rinkowski and Harding check in for William Penn. Wall and Riley will have a seat. 3.9 seconds left. Ali trying to make the second. Shot is up and no good off the back of the rim, but we've got a lane violation or a foul. I think it's going to be a foul.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on Harding, his second, so he just checked in. We'll see who they send. They're going to call it. It'll be a foul underneath, so they won't be sending anybody to the line. But Ali, after missing those 2 foul shots, Mount Pleasant is going to end up getting the ball back with 3.9 seconds left. And they get it into Ishad Butcher, who fires from 3. No good off the front of the rim. Kramer chases it down, but William Penn ends up with it and throws it half court, and it's no good. You hear the buzzer there. That's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. Mount Pleasant 37, William Penn 26. You're listening to the Fox Sports 1290 Game of the Week and watching it live on 302 Sports.
And began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian. Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com. Remember, you can always order online to take home our world-famous wings. It's your couch, our wings.
Welcome back to William Penn High School. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. William Penn's going to start with the ball inbounding it right in front of us. Mount Pleasant has a 37-26 lead. They led by 9 at the half, extended that lead by 2 for the 11-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. Bowling has it in the mid-low block there. Gets it outside in the dribble handoff. Dazir King ends up with it. Rinkowski in, being guarded by Hodges. Rinkowski then hands it off to King. King looking for a pick from Harding. Harding gets it back in 3-point range, decides to give it off to Bowling. Almost a turnover there. Bowling chases it down, being guarded closely by the smaller Famir Ali. Rinkowski has it, looking for a double team there, and they're going to call the foul on Famir Ali. That will be his first, the team's 4th.
They're doing a great job just keeping these William Penn offensive players off balance. They're just not able even to find any lanes or angles to get the ball inside. Everything's being done on the perimeter because of how strong the William Penn or Mount Pleasant defense has been.
William Penn shoots 43% from the field goal range, 2-point range. The problem is at 3 points they don't shoot a lot as Carmel drives in and gets fouled. We'll see whether they call it on the baseline or whether he's going to head to the foul line and shoot 2. But from 3-point range they're only 35%, and that's not really the big number. It's the fact that they don't make take many three-pointers at all.
That's true. Yeah, they prefer to get the ball inside, which they usually do very well.
Crummell, a turnover underneath, threw it right into the hands of Hodges. Hodges is heading down the left side, and Rinkowski fouls him before the shot. Actually, they're going to say he was going up for the shot. I don't agree with that call, but the call is what it is, and Hodges is going to head to the foul line and shoot two.
Yeah, Hodges, a great job there, but the bigger story there is, again, another unforced error by William Penn, turning that ball over, and you can see the conversations of the players, the faces. There's a lot of frustration going on right now where it's 7:09 left, 11-point lead. They're still very much in this game, at least from, that 11 points almost seems like 40 points the way this game has gone. They're going to really need to turn something around offensively.
Bateman comes in for Crummell. I believe Crummell just picked up his third foul. That's not official, but it would make sense that's why Bateman is checking in for the 6'1 senior Jamal Crummell, who exits with no points, and that's one of the storylines. He came in averaging 10.5 points a game. Hodges' first shot was good. His second shot is up and no good. So a 12-point lead, first points there of the fourth quarter for either team, and that gives Mount Pleasant their biggest lead of the night at 12. Bateman has it on the left side for William Penn. He tries to get it in for Bowling, tipped away very nicely underneath, stolen back by Bowling, and then they're going to call a foul on Bowling, who dove into a pile there to try to grab the ball.
Frustration foul on Buck Bowling there. I get the feeling the last couple days under Coach Sullivan may not have been that pleasant for the Mount Pleasant players after that loss to Sally's. They look like an amazing team tonight, the same team that ran out to that 14-1 start.
And they're 1-2 in their last three games after that 14-1 start. So, like you said, I think it was probably an interesting few practices there. I talked to Lisa by phone after that loss to Hodson last week, and she just said we just didn't play hard. And she harped on her players about that, and they came out and they dominated a Newark team, as there's going to be a foul underneath against William Penn. Actually, they're going to call William Penn ball. I'm not sure what the foul is going to be. Refs are looking at each other, but it is a foul.
They're calling an elbow, yeah.
I think that was on Snee.
Yeah, it was on Snee, 35, you're right.
And so William Penn's going to have the ball, still trailing by 12, 38-26. Checking in for Mount is Keenan Fetlow, who came in and did a nice job grabbing a rebound. Snee having a seat with what I believe was his third foul. Both teams have 6 fouls, so both teams will be in one-on-one the rest of the way. 38-26, 6:28 to play here in the fourth quarter. Harding has it right in front of us, almost throws it away, does throw it away, right in the hands of Kramer. He gets it into Keon Taylor, up to Ali. Ali with a pump fake, puts it up and good.
Ali, a great job avoiding Bateman there, letting him fly by before he goes up the layup for the easy two.
Hopefully all the young fans in the audience are watching that move,
yes,
including my two boys. Pump fake, let him fly by, and put up the layup. Doesn't have to be fancy. 40-26, 14-point lead, the biggest for Mount Pleasant. Cochran drives in, scoops up the reverse layup, no good. Kayvon Craner cleans it up and dishes it off to Taylor before his feet even hit the floor.
I was just going to say, Kayvon Kramer, that was an advanced play right there. He goes up for the rebound, knew he was going to face trouble as soon as he hit the ground, so he got it off to a guard before his feet ever hit the ground, as you said.
Kayvon Kramer held scoreless in the third quarter, only 5 points on the night, but that's how balanced this William Penn can be when it needs to be. 5:34 to play, 40-26. Mount Pleasant, third-ranked team in Brad Meyer's News Journal rankings. Famir Ali underneath in the low block. Turnaround hook. Ali has done it all tonight, his 11th point on the night.
That's Famir Ali posting up on Taryn Cochran down on the blocks and turning around with a hook shot for the two. When it's your night, it's your night.
And a whistle. And we were blocked by the referees here. It looks like a timeout was called. A 30-second timeout was called by William Penn. They have 2 timeouts remaining. It's 42-36, a 16-point lead for Mount Pleasant, the largest of the night. The next UD women's basketball game here on Fox Sports 1290 is Friday night at 7 o'clock when the Blue Hens take on James Madison in Harrisonburg, Virginia. The men play Thursday at 7 at home against Elon and can be heard on our sister station 94.7 WDSD. It's basketball season for Special Olympics Delaware, and they're always looking for dedicated coaches, experienced or not, in all of their 19 sports, including basketball, which is going on right now. For more information, visit www.sode.org. Don't forget to check out the 302 Sports live stream of tonight's game anytime at foxsports1290am.com. iHeart.com under the sports tab. Click on the high school basketball, and it's on the audio archive page. 42-26, 5:09 to play. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Bateman's got the ball moving right to left as we see it. He works his way around, kicks it back out, gets it to Rinkowski. Rinkowski dishes it into the corner to Bateman, back out to Rinkowski, pump fakes, he gives it back over to Harding. Harding wanted to shoot, instead he drives in, scoops it up underhand, no good, and they're going to call an offensive foul, so nothing going right for the Colonials.
No, I was just thinking there's one or two possessions maybe tonight where Mount Pleasant was able to develop any kind of efficiency or flow on offense. Everything has come at such a heavy price. Mount Pleasant, the pressure has been unbelievable all night long. I mean, the energy just hasn't stopped.
So much pressure that William Penn has yet to score here in the fourth quarter, and we are 3 minutes and 11 seconds into it. Steve Christensen's not happy about something that happened. He hasn't had much to be happy about tonight here in the second half. Jumper by Crummell from 3 in the left corner is no good. Hodges comes down with it, goes to Kramer. Kramer drives in, and he's fouled by Crummell. I have him for 4. Kramer's going to go to the foul line and shoot 2.
And I have a feeling had Crummell not done that, Kramer was setting up for one of his left-handed windmill dunks. So not a bad foul there by Crummell. It is his 4th, but we are getting toward mid-fourth quarter, so you don't want to give up any easy points. And even though Kramer's a 62% free throw shooter, you'd rather have him earn those points.
He's 1 for 3 tonight from the foul line, both in the first, or the one shot made in the first half. First shot is up and off the back, right side of the rim, no good. Checking in for William Penn is Kyrie McElry, making his first appearance, a 6-foot senior. He's going to come in for Nazir King.
You know, we always talk about it as a coach, even when you have a great game, you want to look at things to nitpick about so you can get on your team about it. Free throw shooting is definitely one of the bugaboos for Coach Sullivan. I know she wants this team to do a better job at the line.
Well, she firmly believes that's the difference between getting deep at the Bob Carpenter Center and going home early in the Bob Carpenter Center. Just as Kramer on cue misses his second. That looked like a carry by Rinkowski. We'll see what the ref called. The ref who called here.
Yeah, they're actually calling a foul on Crummell, I believe, down low. Actually, they.
No, it was.
Oh, they're calling a hold on. Yeah.
And that's going to be a one-on-one. We'll see if that's the 5th. The buzzer sounds, but that might be to check somebody in.
Oh, you know what? They actually called the foul on Famir Ali against Crummell. I'm sorry.
Okay,
it looked like we kind of got blocked off by the referees there. Yeah, Famir Ali was called for that foul. Crummell will go to the line.
And he was putting 2 up to signal that Crummell was going to the line. I thought we were going to go to the other end and somebody was going to shoot after Crummell's foul. First shot is up and good as Crummell picks up his first points of the night on the one-on-one.
This is not some place we've seen William Penn a lot tonight. They've not gotten to the free throw line a lot. William Penn, again, they do a really good job of playing defense, but they do it cleanly. They really don't pick up a lot of fouls.
Second shot by Crummell is up and good. So the man that averages 10.5 picks up his second points of the night. King checks in, Rinkowski out. It's 42-28, a 14-point advantage for Mount Pleasant. Famir Ali gets it. William Penn in the full court man-to-man press. He floats it ahead to Keon Taylor, who is in the game with 3 fouls as well. Taylor drives baseline, gets it back to Kramer. Kramer goes up and is fouled. A little reach-in foul there by Gerard Wall, going to be his 4th, and Kramer's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
And the difference in press break is pretty dramatic. Mount Pleasant easily breaking that full court press by Mount Pleasant. Just quick passes. The ball doesn't touch the floor. They finally get it down to Kramer. They stop him from completing the layup, send him to the line for 2, where he's missed his last 2 free throws.
Yeah, 1 for 5 on the night, so actually not a bad foul at this point of the game. Kramer will head to the line and shoot 2. He was 0 for 2 just a minute ago. 4:22 to play. Mount Pleasant leads 42-28. First shot by the lefty is up and no good off the back right of the rim, and you can see his frustration.
He's getting very frustrated. Yeah, they all look like they're right on line, but they're either hitting the front of the rim or the back of the rim, just not being able to find his range tonight, which has got to be frustrating because there's been a few times he's wanted to throw down dunks, and William Penn has fouled him to stop that, which has turned out to be a really good decision by William Penn, by the way, judging by his performance at the line.
Harding checks in, McElry checks out, shot up, and finally good for Kayvon Kramer, who picks up his 6th point of the night. It's 43-28, a 15-point lead for Mount Pleasant. Just a token press here by Mount Pleasant, just a little bit of pressure, almost a steal by Kramer, and he's going to get called by the foul. And Lisa Sullivan, she's showing him how far away from the basket the offense is and questioning why you would pick up a foul like that. But that's beside the point. William Penn is going to head to the foul line. Cochran is going to be shooting a 1-and-1. He's only got 2 points tonight, averages 4.9 points, a 60% free throw shooter. We'll see if he's able to deliver here with his team down by 15.
Looked like on that one, everyone got the token pressure memo but Kayvon Kramer.
First shot by Cochran is up and good. So it's 43-29, 14 points. Mount Pleasant led by 12 heading into this fourth quarter and has extended that lead. Second shot is up and no good off the back of the rim. Kayvon Kramer skies for the rebound. So 43-29, Mount Pleasant with the ball. Hodges almost loses it right in front of Coach Sullivan, and now he does on the turnover, and Cochran throws it down with the right hand.
Lisa Sullivan is going nuts over there. She knows the team is getting sloppy.
She also tried to call for a timeout. That foul's on Wall. I've got him for 5. We'll see if it is or not. Lisa was calling for a timeout, and Matt Sabol, the defensive coach for William Penn, who's keeping the book over there, just gave the 5 signal, and so Wall is going to be fouled out.
And it looks like right now, Lisa Sullivan, this is one of those cases where you don't want to see your team get sloppy again. With 4 minutes left, it's only a 12-point game. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that William Penn makes a run here, and it certainly makes it a lot easier when William Penn starts making unforced errors, or Mount Pleasant starts making unforced errors.
They haven't checked anybody in yet for Harding, or have they? No, they have. They had Rinkowski coming in, and then they ran him back out. Harding's on the bench. Or Wall, I mean. Wall, excuse me, is the one that fouled out. Wall is the one that's on the bench. Ali's first shot is up and good. So Famir Ali has 4 points here in the second half. That is his 12th point on the night.
Clutch for Ali, as you mentioned, a 66% free throw shooter. As we talked about earlier, didn't get the start tonight, but has really responded coming off the bench, providing a spark for this team. And he and Vincent Smith have done a really nice job at the point today.
Getting ready to get his second shot. It's up and nothing but the bottom of the net. And so the score is Mount Pleasant 45, William Penn 31. Coach Lisa Sullivan is taking her second 30-second timeout. As she does that, I'll remind you to don't forget, after the game, it's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show when we'll recap the game and announce our Crown Trophy player of the game and do our best to get the winning coach on the postgame show to talk about tonight's game. And Marty, it's 45-31. I like this timeout by Coach Lisa Sullivan. She's going to make sure everybody knows what is expected, both on the defensive end of the floor, not creating foolish fouls like she would consider that last one against Kayvon Kramer, because you're in the one-on-one. With a 14-point lead, you don't need to be fouling at half court, but also, more importantly, when they've got the ball on offense, making sure that they understand what she expects.
Yeah, we saw a careless turnover after that foul on Kayvon Kramer as well, so they want to make sure there's no rush. You don't need to score every trip down here now. What you do want to do is run some time off the clock, work the ball around, and come up with the best shot possible.
Mount Pleasant has dominated this fourth quarter and not allowing William Penn to break any of the momentum that they had coming into the fourth quarter. William Penn has it. Bateman fires for 3 from the left side. It's good. It's not over yet for the Colonials.
One of the rare times that William Penn was able to find a man wide open on the weak side beyond the arc, and Bateman nails the 3.
Bateman's not a big scorer, and that might be why he was left alone. Hodges gets it across half court. Over, and a nice job. Way up by Fetlow is good.
Mount Pleasant again does such a great job in transition. Fetlow finishes there, but start to finish, just a great job of Mount Pleasant to come back and answer that 3.
Penn breaks the press. A jumper by Harding from the left side is good. So all of a sudden the outside shooting is firing on all cylinders for the Colonials. They are within 10, which is as close as they've been since the third quarter, and Mount Pleasant is going to take a full timeout.
Great job by Harding there. All of a sudden, you're right, William Penn has found the range. I said just a few minutes ago, it was only a 12-point game. It's only an 11-point game. William Penn has hung around all night long, and all of a sudden they've started to string together some shots. A good timeout here by Coach Christensen. Part of me says you want to ride with the momentum, but I understand you also want to make sure you set up on defense because they've allowed Mount Pleasant some easy buckets along the way tonight. So I like this timeout. I like setting up, and if nothing else, there's no quit in this William Penn team. We saw this against St. George's, a very gritty performance where they pulled out the win, and it's going to be tougher to do that tonight, but they've kept in striking distance all night long.
3:13 to play. Mount Pleasant with a 47-37 lead. They will have the ball. No doubt William Penn will press full court. Probably another one of the reasons Coach Christensen called that timeout to set that up.
And you know you're going to want to get it in the hands of, if you're William Penn, of your best free throw shooters as well. You want to make sure that you get it out of the hands of your poorest free throw shooters. You got to break the press, but you also, if Mount Pleasant happens to foul and you get 2 shots, you want some good free throw shooters at the line.
Niger Hodges, the best free throw shooter at 70% for Mount Pleasant. He's got the ball being covered by Rinkowski. 3:08 to play. 10-point lead for Mount Pleasant. Double team comes. They get it over to Kramer. Kramer underneath to Keon Taylor. That pump fake move we talked about goes up. Dazir King swats it away. A great play by Dazir King. Bateman has it. He gets it to Rinkowski. Rinkowski looked like he wanted to launch from 3. Instead, he pulls it back out. Cochran's got it. He gets it over to Cromell on the right side. Cromell drives in, and he's going to be called for a charge.
Yeah, and I actually really like that call. The crowd hates it. Kayvon Kramer had established position on the low block. It might have been one of those ones that was questionable in college if you had that little arc down there, but Kramer unquestionably he maintained his vertical base. He kept his arms down. I like that call.
Fans don't like it, of course, for Cromell. That is his 4th, I believe. Hodges has it for Mount Pleasant. 10-point lead. 47-37. Ali drives in, goes up on the left side. No good. Follow up and good by Tyreek Johnson. His 4th point of the night extends the lead to 49-37. Mount Pleasant. Cromell quickly on the other side. Cut off by Hodges. Gets it back out to Cochran. Cochran with the handoff to Rinkowski. Back up top to Cromell. Cromell looks like he's trying to drive in. He wants a pick from King. We'll see if they do the pick and roll. Cromell almost loses it to Hodges. Pick and roll doesn't work. They get it to King. He fires from 3 on the right side off the back of the rim. No good. Kramer skies for the rebound. Comes down with it. Dribbles out of trouble. Across half court. Then throws it away. Almost. It ends up in the hands of Hodges. Underneath, they've got it. And going up strong with it is Tyreek Johnson. He's fouled and is going to go to the line. And Coach Lisa Sullivan is imploring her team to get it back out.
Yeah, all she wants is for her team to reset the offense. But every time they get inside, someone goes up for a shot. Now, this time they were bailed out by William Penn foul, so Tyreek Johnson will get the 2 shots. But you have to, I think you and I as old school guys are the same thing, thinking, get it out and burn some time off the clock.
The last thing she wanted Kayvon Kramer to do when he crossed half court was to try to make a fancy pass. Johnson's first foul shot is off of the back of the rim. No good. Jordan Harding is going to check in for William Penn. Coming out is Rinkowski, so a little offensive-defensive substitution here.
Yeah, William Penn looking to get something going offensively, and Harding has had a really good night. He's hit a few threes. He's really kept them in the game.
Shot is up and good. The 5th point for Tyreek Johnson makes it a 50-37 lead for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant's going to drop back and pick up man-to-man. Half court. Bateman has it. He's being guarded by Keon Taylor. Taylor has the 3 fouls. Doesn't really matter at this point. Harding drives in, gets tipped away by Johnson, who's had a heck of a game. Kramer knocks it away. Looked like it bounced right off the foot of a William Penn player. The referees are looking at each other, and they're going to agree that it belongs to William Penn. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not sure about that one either. He's going based on the pink shoes like Kayvon Kramer. I think they sort of stand out in that kind of situation.
1:41 to play. 13-point lead for Mount. 50-37. William Penn with the ball. Tim Bateman, the 5'7" senior, who's done a nice job coming off the bench. He gets it over to King. King drives in and lays it in despite the attempt on the charge by Johnson. So a nice job driving in there by William Penn.
Really good job by King avoiding the charge. He went around the defender, laid it up and in.
Ali lays it over to Tyreek Johnson, who drops it in for 2.
Great job by Ali, seeing Johnson on the weak side, hits him with a sort of faux alley-oop there for the layup.
1:07 to play, 13-point lead for Mount Pleasant. Baseline jumper, no good, and there's Tyreek Johnson again. Comes down with it, almost loses it. He's double-teamed there, and smartly calls a timeout. I should say wisely calls a timeout. That'll be a full timeout for Mount Pleasant, as I believe they are out of 30-second timeouts. 52-39, under a minute to play here. If you're in that huddle, what's Lisa Sullivan talking about right now, Marty?
I think right now she's just saying we've got to get the ball across half court, and then we set it up. We get it in the hands of our best ball handler, which is Famir Ali, if he's still in the game after this timeout. But then you just work it around. Let them force you. We know William Penn's going to have to send them to the free throw line. You have Hodges at 70%, Ali at 66%, and Kramer at 62%. They're the three best free throw shooters. I'd prefer, if I'm Lisa Sullivan, I want to put the ball in Ali's hands, and unless he has to give it up, I want him to be shooting the free throws.
Tyreek Johnson, a 6'3 senior coming off the bench. He comes into the game for Mount Pleasant averaging 4.8 points, 3.5 rebounds. He's already got 7 points all in the second half, 5 here in the fourth quarter, and I know he's got more than 3.5 rebounds just based on what he's put back up. So a nice job by the 6'3 senior Tyreek Johnson coming off the bench. 57.5 seconds to play. Some of the William Penn crowd starting to file out. 52-39, a 13-point lead for Mount Pleasant. They've led by as many as 16 here in the fourth quarter.
I think one thing we've seen confirmed tonight, too, is that Mount Pleasant is the deepest team in the state.
No question. Johnson has it, and he gets fouled, and he's going to head back to the foul line for Mount Pleasant.
And I don't believe that's a bad foul by William Penn. I don't know Tyreek Johnson's free throw numbers. I don't think he goes to the line an awful lot at all.
54%, but I have it marked down as somebody who hasn't taken a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
And so Tyreek Johnson will head to that line. He is 1 for 2 on the night. That foul, I believe, was on Cochran, which according to my stats is his second foul. Looks like Jordan Harding's trying to check in, and he is going to check in for Jamal Cramel.
Yeah, Johnson coming in tonight and only taking 2 free throw attempts the whole season. So not a bad job here by William Penn picking him to foul.
Now, as long as that exchange took there, Marty, I'm wondering if the foul was on Cramel and that was his 5th. Because if it was on him, it would be his 5th as Tyreek Johnson makes his first free throw. Because they would not, I don't believe, Cramel is at the end of the bench as if he's done for the night.
Yes.
And so I assume that is his 5th. We were shielded again, and they don't put the player fouls up on the scoreboard here. 53-39, second shot is up and good. So Tyreek Johnson, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. It is 54-39, Mount Pleasant with 50 seconds to play. Bateman with the ball moving right to left as we see it. Man-to-man defense by Mount Pleasant. Cochran's got it. He looks like he's trying to come in. He fires for 3 at the top of the key, and it's good. And a quick timeout by Steve Christensen.
Yeah, Taryn Cochran with the three-pointer with a hand in his face. William Penn just won't go away. It's very difficult now. Of course, 40 seconds left and a 12-point lead, but this is where we get into the marathon portion of the game where they'll now start sending Mount Pleasant to the line every time. And again, as I said before, if I'm William Penn and Coach Christensen, I want to keep the ball out of Famir Ali's hands when you get the ball in bounds. If they can get it to someone like Johnson, even though he is 3 of 4 tonight and he's had a really good fourth quarter for Mount, you want to put it in. You don't want to put it in the hands of the guys who throughout the course of the season have shown they can hit the clutch free throws.
And yet they are at a point where they can't allow too many passes before they get that foul. If you're Mount Pleasant, you want the ball in the hands of Niger Hodges, who is a 70% free throw shooter. And if there's anybody who knows how to shoot free throws in this gym, it would be Niger Hodges. Of course, if you're just tuning in, a transfer from William Penn now playing at Mount Pleasant. Him not being on the William Penn team was not his choice, and I'm going to leave it at that. But obviously, it was a great find for Mount Pleasant when he decided that they were going to move into the district, and so he could go to play at Mount Pleasant. Jumped right into the starting lineup of what was already a deep team.
Made them a much deeper team.
Hodges gets it into Famir Ali, like you said, Marty. Get the ball in the hands of the man you want. And Ali is going to head to the free throw line, where tonight he has made 5 free throws out of 6. So not a bad guy to send to the line.
Now, and as you said, it's one of those situations where they can't let a lot of time tick off the clock. They actually had him triple teamed. If we had a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go, you might have been able to hem him in there. But you have to give the foul with only 40 seconds now, 38.6 to go.
And it is going to be the double bonus for Famir Ali, so he'll get 2 here no matter what he does, but he makes the first one anyway, and I like that play that Coach Lisa Sullivan had set up, Marty, because it was Hodges, the best free throw shooter, passing it into the second best free throw shooter, who, if he gets trapped and can get it right back to Hodges, you have it back in the hands of your best free throw shooter. So Lisa Sullivan obviously knows what she's doing. Doesn't need my thoughts on her inbound plays. The second shot is up and no good. So it is 55-42 with 30 seconds to play. Bateman launches a three to lefty, nothing but the bottom of the net. His second three here in the fourth quarter, but they fail to get back on defense, and a smart play by Ali to pull it back out. It's a 10-point lead, 55-45 for Mount. Keon Taylor has it. William Penn's got a foul. There's only 16 seconds left to play here, if they, in fact, are going to foul. They work it around, and they have it on the line. Almost a foul there. Back outside. Johnson gets it, and it looks like Steve Christensen's going to do the sportsmanship type of thing and just accept defeat here. And it's going to be a 10-point win for Mount Pleasant as the Green Knights clinch the Blue Hen Flight A Conference Championship with a 55-45 win over the William Penn Colonials here at William Penn High School. When we come back, it's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show. We'll recap the game, announce our Crown Trophy player of the game, and hope to talk to Mount Pleasant head coach Lisa Sullivan. Once again, your final score, Mount Pleasant 55, William Penn 45. This is the Fox Sports 1290 Game of the Week, and you're watching it live on 302 Sports.
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create.
Hi, I'm Shannon Colburn, General Manager of Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Bethany Beach.
And I'm Douglas Ruley, Vice President and Chef of Sodell Concepts.
Located on Coastal Highway just north of downtown Bethany Beach, Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar is a landmark restaurant overlooking the beautiful salt pond. Some house specialties include fried baby lobster tails, baked oysters, seafood stew, lobster cavatappi, and of course, daily selections of fresh fish and raw oysters.
That's Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Bethany Beach.
Come check us out.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts.
And I'm Danae from Matt's Fish Camp.
Come check us out.
Matt's Fish Camp is the small local fish joint with 2 locations on Coastal Highway in North Bethany Beach and Lewis, where we serve up traditional coastal fare in a casual atmosphere with house specialties like colossal crab cakes, lobster rolls, and fried Ipswich clams, along with crowd pleasers like fish and chips, fried shrimp, and a daily selection of fresh caught fish. Matt's Fish Camp, serving up lunch and dinner 7 days a week, all year.
Locations in Bethany Beach and Lewis, Delaware. See you soon.
Thursday.
But you get the tiebreaker.
Yes. That's good because I didn't buy jackets last year. Are they advertising my car or what? What are we doing here? Come to Mount Pleasant, you get a full ride?
It's on.
Welcome back to William Penn High School. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Mount Pleasant has captured the Flight A championship for the second year in a row. They won Flight B the year before that. So Coach Lisa Sullivan, who joins us here with a 55-45 win over a very solid William Penn team in a very tough place to play at any time. You made a couple lineup changes, and we've watched a lot of your team on film. We've seen you play in person. You played as scrappy and as tough as we've seen you play all season.
I thought we played really well today. Like, the intensity's coming back. Every time you take a loss, you get an opportunity to learn from it. So we just want to make sure that we come back and we've learned from the loss.
There was a couple lineup changes tonight. We were wondering if there was maybe a message being sent to some folks, because when they came off the bench, and one of the specific ones we're talking about is Famir Ali. He came off the bench. Vincent Smith did a great job starting the game. Famir Ali came in and looked like he just provided a great spark to the team. Was there something going on there? Are you trying to shake things up a little bit after those 2 losses?
Ironically enough, no. Like, the kids come to me, starters, say, it's time to put some new kids in the starting lineup. So, I mean, it was kind of like a mutiny in the locker room. I had to change the starting lineup. That's not originally what it was, but that's what they asked for. So, in the end, it's their team, and, I want to give them what they asked for.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, we talked about, John and I, during the game, we don't see a lot of times at the beginning of the game go to that full court trapping press. What was the thought there tonight? Was that just something kind of get the energy level up? You're in an enemy gym, get something started. I know you've said in the past everything starts with defense.
Everything starts with defense. I think we were just thinking, exactly, get the energy up, get them moving. We have transportation issues, so we arrive super early or right, after the buzzer. So we've been sitting around for a couple hours. So it was just to come out and get them up and moving and active and into the game.
Coach, you've got one game left, and then you have Ferris. After you have AI, then you have Ferris, and then you basically can go on vacation for a couple weeks while the rest of the teams finish their season here. Do you do that intentionally? I know it's because you're in the Concord Classic, you're in the Slam Dunk to the beach. Is that a plus or a minus that you're going to be done literally about a week before everybody else?
Well, it's not intentional, so I'm going to hope it's a plus instead of a minus. It's just the way the schedule shook out. Fortunately, we're allowed to have a 4 scrimmage, and then hopefully we make that AB game, and that'll be an extra game for us. So, and we're banged up, so it'll. We play 5 games in 10 days, so we're going to need some time off. So.
Well, you've certainly proven what everybody thought is how deep your team is. Your usual scorers didn't necessarily score tonight as much as they did. Ali didn't score at all in the first quarter. Obviously, he didn't start, but but your team was still in there with that. Keon Taylor held to just 1 point, coming in averaging 8.7. Kayvon Kramer only half of his season total. So you've built a team here that, although you rely on your superstars like any coach does, you can still win without them.
Well, I think being in a tournament the last couple of years has taught me you're only as good as your weakest link.
Right.
So I took a lot of criticism all season long about playing so many kids. But these kids come hard. They come to practice. They work hard. They deserve an opportunity to play. And like I said, I have 15 kids who care about one another. They're coming to me telling me to start other kids.
Right.
And it's an easy decision when they're doing that.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. We'll let you get back in. We appreciate you coming over and talking to us. Lisa Sullivan, the head coach of the Mount Pleasant Green Knights, 55-45 winners over William Penn High School. The worst they can do is tie for the Flight A championship, but the reason we said they won the Flight A championship because that tie will be with Newark, who they beat head-to-head last week, and so they will be anointed the Flight A championships. What a great job Coach Lisa Sullivan has done with this Mount Pleasant program, who has been in the state tournament 5 straight years, and before she came on board as the head coach, they had been decades since they were in the tournament, and they've actually not won a state championship. They've only won one, and that was back in 1967. All right, when we come back, we will announce our Crown Trophy Play of the Game and talk about the next games for both of these two teams and our next game just 2 nights away on Fox Sports 1290. Your final score here, Mount Pleasant 55, William Penn 45. We'll be right back.
14.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammer of Sodell Concepts.
And I'm Jen Myers of Plate Catering.
And we'd love to invite you to check us out for your wedding or next event.
At Plate Catering, it's our mission to make your dream wedding a reality, expertly taking care of all the food and service details so you don't have to. Our professional team will work with you to create a one-of-a-kind event, whether it be on the beach, farm to table, or at your home. Whatever the venue or occasion, Plate Catering is here to help you make it the best it can be.
Plate Catering from Sodell Concepts. Check us out.
Welcome back to William Penn High School. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. The Mount Pleasant Green Knights, number 3 in the state of Delaware, have knocked off the William Penn Colonials 55-45. This is the American Spirit Federal Postgame Show, brought to you by American Spirit Federal Credit Union, with locations in Newark, Middletown, and Dover. Visit americanspirit.org. It's now time for our Fox Sports 1290 Crown Trophy Player of the Game. Crown Trophy in Glasgow and Wilmington have always been proud supporters of Fox Sports 1290 and the student athletes in the state of Delaware. Visit Crown Trophy for all the best in trophies, and make sure to check out their all-new varsity letter sports balls. Continuing with the Crown Trophy tradition, each player of the game this season will win a customized Crown Trophy award plaque, and the school will receive one as well for its trophy case. Visit crowntrophy.com. Marty, the floor is yours.
You know, I love these kinds of decisions because it means a team played a great game all around, and Mount Pleasant tonight came ready to play offensively, defensively. Defensively, I don't know that on tape we've seen them play any better than they've played tonight. They were all over, flying all around the floor. They got great performances from Kayvon Kramer, who only had 6 points tonight, but played great defense, did a nice job in transition. Doug Snee, who really surprised us, along with Tyreek Johnson. They combined for 19 points tonight, which is far more than the two of them usually combined for. They did a really nice job. But for me, I'm going to go with a younger guy, the point guard who came off the bench, Famir Ali. We just heard from Coach Lisa Sullivan that wasn't necessarily planned. I happen to think he's one of the top 2 or 3 best point guards in the state. He's only a sophomore. He struggled a little bit in those 2 recent losses, and he came out tonight when he came off the bench for Vincent Smith, who also did a great job. I just thought Famir Ali brought a spark. He had some just really magician-like passes to set up some of his teammates. So for tonight, Famir Ali from Mount Pleasant is our Crown Trophy Player of the Game.
Alrighty, out-of-town scoreboard. St. George's leads Hodson 33-20. Nick Halliday giving us that score at the half. So St. George's, Hodson only anointed the number 2 team in the state this morning and already struggling in their next game. We, of course, were there last week when they upset this then-ranked number 1 Mount Pleasant team. All right, the next games for these 2 teams, it's going to be senior night at Mount Pleasant on this Thursday as the Green Knights host AI DuPont. William Penn's next game is our next Fox Sports 1290 broadcast, and it's just 2 days away as we head to Appoquinimink High School on the western side of Middletown on Thursday when the Colonials take on the Jaguars. Tip-off is 5:45, and we'll be on the air at 5:30 with the Fox Sports 1290 basketball pregame show, leading into what should be a very competitive Blue Hen Flight A conference game featuring one of the state's best players in Appoquinimic's, Miles Kale, who will play next year at Seton Hall University. That's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Thanks to our producer back in the studio, Ronnie Vickers, for keeping us up and running on the radio side, and to Nick Halliday of 302 Sports here on site producing the live stream. For Marty Sheehan, I'm John Busby. Once again, your final score, Mount Pleasant 55, William Penn 45. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, good night from William Penn High School.